Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Triple Chalice Tarot Presents The Elementary of Tarot. I am your host, Rowan Nix, joined by my co-host, Taruk Vishal.
Good evening.
And tonight we are going to start our final suit of the tarot, which is the Suit of Wands. And the Suit of Wands indicates the element of fire. It evokes emotions of courage and passion and intensity and all of that shines brightly within us. The wands can mean anything in life, from ideas to passions that we'd like to pursue to relationships with other people. It really just depends on the given context of the reading. Now, when we get more to the higher court cards, which is the king, the queen, the page, the knight, etc., this indicates somebody that maybe has fiery red or golden hair and tan or darker skin, usually with hazel eyes or eyes that tend to glow brightly. With astrological correspondences, it goes with Leo, with Aries, and with Sagittarius, which are the three fire signs. And it definitely talks about seeking in life, that desire to look out within the world, that desire that we have within us to explore, to expand our horizons, etc. What about you, Taruk? What have you gotten in context with the Suit of Wands before?
Well, it was beautifully said by you, everything concerning the wands. But like you said, the wands is fire. This is a suit about action, about movement, okay? It's a spark, it's fire, it's passion. So it's a very active and like flickering, just excitement, a very exciting, and it's not as dangerous as the swords, because the swords, even when you look at the weapons, a sword and a wand, the wand is something that, comes from the earth. Well, swords do also come from earth as far as how they're created, but the wand has some type of regalness, and it's not as extreme and dangerous as the swords. So that's how I see the wands.
Very much so. And there's also a mystical element to the wands that, something usually that's smaller can control something that's much larger. Even in ancient times, that's when rulers were crowned, they were crowned with the scepter, which is a wand, and a globe usually to indicate their status or sovereignty over something. So, and it is a very masculine element because of their shape, which is more phallic, etc., much like the sword is also phallic. And the wands definitely take up a very masculine place in everybody's life, for sure.
Yes.
So I think we can move on and start the actual Suit of Wands with the Ace of Wands. Now, this is usually just a wand standing on the background. Sometimes, like in my Revelations tarot, it's indicated by a flame that's burning brightly in the darkness. And this is really a card that talks about enlightenment. This is a card that talks about an idea that you may have. It's that aha moment of creativity where anything is possible. You suddenly feel as though this has opened the door or shined a light in any place that you had darkness in your life before. So this can be a revelation about a passion that you may have in your life, about a new job, maybe about a potential love interest, that you are awakened now and can see that person in that romantic context. This is all about finding that light to ignite it within yourself and drawing the things to you that you would like in your life. What about you, Taruk? What do you see with the Ace of Wands?
Well, this is a card about action. This is a card about that spark, that initial bud, that plant, that initial, what is a sapling that comes out of the ground, that spark of life. This is a card about creation. It's a card about taking initiative and starting something. This could be a business venture. It could be an art project that you're doing. It could be a relationship. This is a card about basically that light bulb in your head when you get that first idea. It is the seed of creation in your mind to cause action, okay? That's what I see with the Ace of Wands.
Very much so. And in the negative connotations of it, I always take it as something that, it's that spark that you need to fan an argument, to fan a rebellion, to fan something very destructive as well, because fire, while it is life-giving and is able to make so many beautiful things, fire is also destructive and cleansing and purifying as well. So it's really that context of burning a city to ruins, just from a simple spark of a flame. So I think that in the negative aspects of it, it really indicates a time of cleansing and destruction as well. What do you see for the negative aspects?
Well, what I see with the negative aspects is stagnation. It's not moving. Okay, it's that basically the reverse. It's that spark not coming. The idea is not coming through. It's a block that you're having. That's what I'm seeing with this. This is also the reverse of this. Has a similarity to the Ten of Swords. Not Ten of Swords, I'm sorry, to the Ten of Wands. The reverse, as far as just the stagnation and just kind of being worn out and being weighed down and not being able to move. So this is about not being able to move, about not having direction, where to go and where to take things, or that initial step. You don't know what to do. You're basically holding the wand, and it's like, okay, where do I go? I have no spark. I have no creation. I have no direction. There is nothing that is alive or awakening in you. There is no spark. It's dark inside of you. You don't have that divine cloud coming to you with that branch, because in the right away card, it's a cloud with a divine hand with the wand. So it's basically, divine inspiration coming to you in the form of that wand. So in a way, it's kind of like that divine hand is going to smack you in the top of the head and get you with an idea. It's like, bam. So the reverse, it's like you're not getting that. You don't have that. So it's like you're just there, dry with nothing, stagnation. That's what I see with the ace.
Definitely. And I like how you took it to that place of almost hopelessness, of feeling that you're abandoned or not feeling that you have that light within yourself, or forgetting maybe that we are all part of the divine and that we all have that spark within us. So I really like the
Definitely.
Do you want to start off the Two of Wands, just talking about it, what you usually get from it?
Sure. Well, when you look at the Two of Wands, we see this young man. He is standing. It seems he's standing at some type of place where he can see beyond. He can see the mountains, he can see the ocean, and it's like a balcony basically. So he has two wands. He has one wand at each side, and he has a globe at his hand. So when you look at the symbolism of the Two of Wands, basically the two wands, it's like a balance. It's ideas. You have more than one idea. You don't know kind of where to go. This is a card about planning, but having the world at your hand and maybe not knowing exactly which direction you want to go. This card may signify dealing with goals that you want to accomplish, and you're not sure which direction you want to take it. But wherever you go, the world is at your grasp. The thing is, which direction are you ready to go? To tackle that. So this is basically you standing. You have the idea of the ace. So you have the spark of creation that the first card said. So now you're at this place. Where do I go? What's the next move? What's the next step? That's what I'm seeing with this.
Definitely. This is definitely the continuation of the ace, and this is the synthetic process. This is taking the flint and the spark and everything and getting it to ignite, to start the fire itself. So this can be anything from a new business venture, this can be a new passion, this can be a new romance even, that you have that spark that you need now, and you're fanning the flames, you're building it, you're building your empire off of it, so to speak. Although this doesn't really have those grandiose connotations, this is more so just that initial feeling of joy or happiness or exaltation that you get from working with the flame. Now, in the more negative aspects of it, I usually take this to mean that you're unable to bring the elements together. You may have that initial idea, but you have no follow-through with it. You're kind of fumbly and clumsy with trying to bring the actions about, trying to get the correspondences together. It's basically not working for you. The fire won't start for whatever reason. Is that what you found with the negative connotations, or what do you see with it?
I agree with you completely, definitely. And, there also has to do with fear, okay? Having the fear to step out of your comfort zone and going beyond what you know, okay? it's easy to grasp that effigy or globe in your hand of the world to represent what's out there, but it's another thing to actually step, okay, into the real world and do what it is that the ace required, to go out and cause change in the world because of that spark, because of that fire that was lit up on your behind to get up, So the reverse Two of Wands is that fear of what's possibly out there. If I step out of my comfort zone, what will happen? It's that mystery and danger, really, that the Two of Wands reversed is bringing up, So that is a challenge that somebody who gets this in reverse would have to deal with, is stepping outside of your boundaries and what you're afraid of, despite the potential that you have, okay, and you know that you'll be successful, but you still have that fear that's just holding you back for some reason or another, So yeah, that's what I'm seeing with the two.
Well, and also, I forgot to mention this earlier when I was talking about the suit of wands. The wands also represent the mystical axiom to dare, which is definitely a large portion of the wands. It's always about, do you dare to do this? Do you have the courage within yourself to dare and to create that change for yourself in your life? Because it's something that we all have to go through within ourselves. Are we okay to move on to the three? Do you want to talk about anything else with the two?
No, definitely. You can go ahead with the three, yeah.
Okay, awesome. So the Three of Wands, at least in my deck, which is the Revelations Tarot, it's usually depicted with just three people with their wands, and it's all about Congress. It's all about conference as well. This is bringing together of ideas. This is really talking it over, sorting it out with your friends, etc. I know in the Rider-Waite deck, it's usually depicted with the man and the three wands standing around him, but it's about getting all of your ducks in a row, so to speak. You're sort of organizing things to where you need them to be. And this can be with other people. This can be just on your own, etc. But the three usually is convergence with different elements and different people in your life, etc. So it's also warning about not being so heavy-handed, not leading it all on your own. Sometimes you have to ask for help. Sometimes you have to take matters into your own hands, and there's nothing wrong with that. Usually when I get this card in a spread, the person's trying to do too much. This is definitely a domineering person. This is a dominating person that needs everything to go a certain way, and is someone that is not afraid of taking the leadership position, which can be good in certain instances, but it can also be a drawback, especially when working within groups, etc. What do you see with it, Taruk?
Well, with the Three of Wands, we are stepping into the next phase, okay? After the two, we get the three. So the three is basically saying, you've been planning, you took that step, you took the bold step to explore, to get out there, and things are happening for you. This is a card about exploring. It's a card about traveling and getting out there. It's a card about being bold, okay? You have to be bold to step into new territory, into new things, into new places that you've never been to, seeing people you've never seen before, So it is a bold thing that you have to do when you get out here into the, scary world. This is a card about making decisions. This is a card about being ready, being ready in your spirit to get out into the world and explore, okay, to view and explore the world, the world that you held in the two, and now you're walking that world, you're exploring, you're seeing different opportunities, different things are coming your way, so it definitely is about expansion and expanding your horizons, and going beyond what you are used to, beyond your limitations, beyond your backyard, and getting out there, and also being confident in yourself when you step out into this new world that you know nothing about, So yeah, that's what I'm saying with this card.
Definitely. And in the more negative aspects of it, this is somebody that's been completely left to their own devices. This is somebody that, the brim of leadership has completely fallen on them. If you're in a group project, you've totally experienced this before, where you're the person left holding the deck and you have to do everything yourself. So this is also a place of frustration. You've already taken those first two steps, and now you're at the third, and you don't know what the hell to do because everything's up in the air, everything's a chaotic mess, and now you have to bring it all to heal. You have to manifest it on your own, which a lot of times can be the most difficult aspect of it, is relying on yourself, especially in this world where, we're taught to rely on each other so much. It can be very difficult to stand on your own 2 feet, but it's a necessary step in survival and in life, and especially in manifesting whatever goals that you have, whatever dreams or desires that you may have. At the end of the day, the only person believing in those dreams or desires is you. So the 3 can be a very rude awakening to some in the negative aspects. Have you found that as well, Sharuk?
I definitely agree with you. Yes. And what I see with the 3 of Wands is the negative aspect of what could happen when you step out into that unknown world. The bad that could happen, the negative aspect, you do get lost, bad things do happen, a business deal does go bad, you do lose money, you do lose that apartment that you moved to a new location, and whatever. So it's that negative aspect of taking that risk, taking that step into an unknown territory, into an unknown city, and, into the unknown world. Yeah, it sometimes things don't come out perfect, everybody's doesn't always, just travel and have a success story. Some people do go through hard times and more difficult times, but do you give up? You don't give up. You have to continue and fight and hold on to the wands, hold on to that fire, hold on to that creative divinatory spark that the universe lit up under you, and you fight on. Things may be hard with the 3 in the wands reverse, but that should not stop you or deter you or make you question yourself about, why did I even start this path? Why did I even take this journey if this was going to happen to me? Things happen as a learning process. It's things that you have to learn about and learn from, and maybe this is just something that the universe is putting in your way for you to overcome and jump over that hurdle, So with the 3 of Wands, it is definitely roadblockages being put in your way. You're having doubt. You're nervous about things that are happening. Maybe things around you are breaking down, are not working. You have to take a step back and assess the situation again and look at what happened and what is wrong, and then be able to move forward with the situation and be wiser about the steps that you make. Everything is just not going to be perfect in the world, and sometimes people, they do get disappointed with the way things turn out when it comes to a new venture, but you just have to stick through, and things will get better. So yeah, definitely with the 3.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on to the 4 of Wands, I'm actually going to go with the depiction in the Rider-Waite Tarot, because I feel the one in the Revelations Tarot can be a little misguided sometimes if you're not used to the tarot. And the one in the Rider-Waite, it's a castle in the background with the 4 wands in the foreground, and they're all bedecked in garlands, and it's a very celebratory nature. You have people dancing around holding the flowers up, and it's all about accomplishments and achievements. This is the area in your life where you finally can enjoy a measure of your success. You're receiving the accolades for it, for whatever dream or desire that you're manifesting, and you're able to party with it now. You have a sense of stability indicated by the castle in the background. You have a sense of, okay, this is me. You're more solid in your knowledge that this is what you want in your life. This is where you want your goals to go. You have more going for you in your life than you did before, when all you had was a spark, when all you had was an idea. So this is really a card about magic in general, about manifesting the changes in your life that you want. It is possible. It is out there. You just have to reach out and grab it. You have to make it work for you. And you can't let anyone stand in your way, necessarily. And also, this card is talking about friendship. This card is talking about family and about love. It's talking about all of those good things will come to you once you have yourself established. It's talking about being in the right place, the right time, and it all sort of culminating together. What do you usually get when you have this card trick, and can you describe how it looks in your deck?
Well, the 4 of Wands in my deck is a little different. I have the African deck, and in my deck, it's showing a man walking, holding some type of chair, but it's like I guess an African style chair. And the card symbolizes refuge. It symbolizes prosperity, harmony, and peace, and agreement. So it's a card about having sanctuary. Being able to have somewhere that you can be safe, a safe harbor for you. Now, when we look at the Rider-Waite deck, which, like you said, it's showing like a couple in a castle background, and it's about happiness. So it looks like even a marriage when you look at the Rider-Waite. So when we look at the story of the Wands, so now we're at the 4, okay? So this is positive. You had success in the world. You traveled out. You got out there, and things are going good. You're celebrating. You have stability. You have a home. You even have a relationship or a marriage or something. So success, this is a card about success. It is allegedly one of the most positive cards I read, one of the most positive cards in the deck, in the entire tarot deck. So this is a card about family. It's a card about celebration. This is also a card about milestones, about things being successful in your life, whether it be business venture, friendship, family, any area in your life that you want to focus on. This is a card showing success in that area. Your goals have been attained. You have done a great job with your situation. The 4 of Wands is also associated with a home. This card can signify building a new home, building your castle, or, just having your castle and settling down. This is a card about, peace, about being secure in yourself, about having no worries of turmoil from the outside world. It's your sanctuary. It's where you're safe. The world could be just going crazy, but you're in your house. You are safe. And it's a good feeling to have that security. When you look at the story of the Wands, you had that inner spark creation. You decided to, step out of your comfort zone, out of your fear, and do something different. And the 4 of Wands is the reward. It's the success of taking that risk. And now you have been established. Now you can relax and enjoy your sanctuary, enjoy the home that you have built for yourself and the family that you have around you. So, yeah, that's what I'm seeing with the 4.
Definitely. And just to go into the negative aspects real quick, usually when this card appears for me in the negative, it's about not trusting what you see because not everything is true. It's about not all that glitters being gold. This is definitely someone that maybe bought their wealth using credit and it's not all real. Or it may seem that they're very wealthy, or it may seem that they have all of their stuff together, but in actuality they don't. They're more of a smooth talker. They're just able to flash really well without having any actual wealth, because the Wands in general talk about illusion and talk about presenting as something other than what's actually real. Sometimes the fire burns so brightly that we forget that it's hot. Or we forget, anything else, that the shadows that it may be casting as well. So this is also can be a warning. It can be about trusting your instincts, trusting something that's a little more concrete, a little more earthy, rather than what may be presented to you in the first place. Is that what you found with the negative as well, or do you have another take on it?
Well, yeah, with the negative, I see this as basically your foundation is not secure. This could deal with a home probably being up for a foreclosure. This might deal with relationship problems, the relationship being shaky, the money being right, communication is not right with the home, a lot of instability, things not being stable in your house, and having that fear of you being uprooted. You don't have that security. You don't have that sanctuary. You don't know where you might sleep tomorrow. You may not know where you can take a shower, tomorrow, or, whatever. So it's a threat of maybe homelessness, too, So the 4 of Wands reversed, yeah, it could be a scary card.
Definitely. I like that you brought the foundation into it, because we're talking about 4s, and numerologically, 4s are foundation, their stability. And when you don't have that stability, it's very easy for everything else to come sliding off of it. I think that this is pretty much a good place for us to close up here. I think that next week we can definitely come back in. I know Aluna will be with us, and she can definitely bring the fire, being our resident Leo. So I want to thank everybody for listening in with us tonight into the first initial explorations into the wand suit. Thank you so much. If you're not following us on Twitter and Instagram, please do so at Triple Chalice Tarot. And as always, please email us if you have any questions at triplechalicetarot@gmail.com. I'm Rowan Nix. Thank you so much for listening.
Good night.